So again, welcome to the end of October, or maybe the middle of November. I've been a little bad at getting these end of the month reviews out on time for the horror season, but if that's the case, happy belated Halloween.
Sure. Why not?
As I've been doing every year since I started this channel, I'm going to be looking at yet another entry in the iconic Halloween series.
Why won't you die?
This is one of those series that, while iconic, has had its many ups and downs.
Can't you see I'm making eggs over here?
Yes.
Since when?
They're chicken abortions and they're fucking gross.
Man, that bitch got herself a nice little dumper. You heard me.
Oh, what a bummer, man. That was the worst fucking movie I've ever seen.
The original is the ultimate slasher film that just kickstarted the whole subgenre, and every sequel that followed after that was either okay, cool, but in a cheesy way, just alright, or just plain fucking awful.
Take me, but spare my friend! She's a virgin.
Got her phone number?
Definitely not funny.
Today's sequel definitely falls into the camp of just alright, but not very memorable. Halloween H20, 20 years later, or simply Halloween H2O as many people call it. First off, with a title like that, what's your initial idea of what the story might be? Me, Michael Myers invades Atlantis.
I
think it's talking to you.
After the clusterfuck nightmare production that was Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, the studio decided to make part 7 as if parts 4 through 6 and the whole Jamie Lloyd saga had never happened, making this the first time the Halloween franchise would retcon the less received sequels.
The timeline's resetting itself.
Just send us home.
And after The Curse of Michael Myers and the unfortunate death of Donald Pleasance, I can kind of understand why they would want to go this route. With her character's death no longer considered canon, Jamie Lee Curtis returned to play the character of Laurie Strode for the first time in 17 years. Curtis was actually very enthusiastic about the production and wanted to bring as much of the original cast and crew back to mark the 20th anniversary of the first film.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Confucius say easy does it, Skippy.
Curtis wanted John Carpenter to return as director, and he actually was interested, but he wanted his salary to be $10 million, and he wanted a 3-picture deal with Dimension Films. Moustapha Akkad pretty much responded along the lines of, "Fuck you, Carpenter."
You lose! Good day, sir!
Instead hired Steve Miner, a veteran director of 80s horror films such as House, Friday the 13th Part 2, and Friday the 13th Part 3.
Excellent!
Except, this is not the Steve Miner who was fresh off of directing Friday the 13th Part 2 and Part 3. This is the Steve Miner that was fresh off directing My Father the Hero and Big Bully.
And I'm not a little kid anymore.
Really? Well, then how come you act like one?
I am not acting.
And so?
I am not.
And so?
I am not.
Have a nice trip. What are you gonna do, style my hair?
Dude, that movie sucked. How do they even call that a movie?
As far as the screenplay goes, and before they decided to do the whole retcon thing, Daniel Ferrans, the writer of Curse of Michael Myers, was originally brought back and penned a screenplay called Halloween: Lord of the Dead, because I guess they're now ripping off the Phantasm series. He eventually dropped out, not wanting another one of his scripts to be butchered by the studio. Couldn't be any worse than his current films.
God, no. I'd rather watch a 3-year-old prostitute get flayed.
Writer Robert Zappia then pitched a script called Halloween 7: Two Faces of Evil, intended to go direct to video. The story would have had Michael Myers terrorizing a women's boarding school, only to be revealed it's a copycat killer. Sounds like something John Travolta would add sound for in Blowout.
God, the scream is terrible.
After that, Kevin Williamson, fresh off of writing the 90s horror classic Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer, was brought in to take a crack at writing the script. His story, titled Halloween 7: The Revenge of Laurie Strode, would have kept a lot of what was used in the final film, but still would have stayed within the continuity of parts 4 through 6. The final script was credited to Robert Zappia and Matt Greenberg, and while uncredited for his contributions, Kevin Williamson provided rewrites and came up with the film's ending, as well as the future twist for that ending that wouldn't come into play until the next film, Halloween Resurrection. Oh, and just as a fun fact, there's a scene where a couple of girls are in their dorm room and watching Scream 2. Originally, they were supposed to be watching So I Married an Axe Murderer, so they could have the little chuckle of having Mike Myers featured in a Michael Myers movie. But I guess they thought that was too stupid, so they went with Scream 2, cause also written by Kevin Williamson and released through Dimension Films.
Shit.
As for the story that they ended up going with, the movie opens with the song Mr. Sandman, the opening song of Halloween 2. We see Marion Chambers, Dr. Loomis's chain-smoking nurse from the first two films, played once again by Nancy Stevens, arriving at her home in Langdon, Illinois. After noticing her house has been broken into, she goes to her two teenage neighbors for help, one of them played by a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Jimmy, where are you going?
Check out your house?
No, wait for the police.
Where's the fun in that, huh?
After finding nobody, but making sure to rate her beer, little shit, Nurse Chambers re-enters her house, only to come face to face with, gasp, choke, Michael fucking Myers, baby!
Holy shit.
The ever-efficient police show up, only taking notice of Nurse Chambers and the now dead kids after it's way too late.
Did you hear that?
Hear what? I didn't hear anything.
The next day, detectives search the house, giving a big exposition dump, explaining that Chambers became a caregiver to Dr. Loomis after the events of Halloween 2.
It's time, Michael.
Loomis has since died, having spent his remaining years obsessing over Myers and the whereabouts of Laurie Strode, who it seems everybody believes has died.
I find that unlikely.
It's then revealed that Laurie Strode is alive and well, apparently having faked her death and living under the new name Carrie Tate in Summer Glen, California.
Did you say California? Are y'all boys going to Hollyweird?
She's now divorced and has a son named John, played in his film debut by Josh Hartnett, and she works as the head mistress of a private boarding school. Apparently, Dr. Loomis knew about her little relocation because Michael Myers is on his way to California for a little bloody brother-sister reunion.
I say we get crumpets and tea.
All in favor of crumpets and tea, say aye.
Aye. Shut up! Ain't gonna be no crumpets and tea.
With it being Halloween Day, the majority of the student body leave for an overnight field trip, leaving Laurie, her son, his girlfriend, two friends, Laurie's school counselor boyfriend Will, played by Adam Arkin, and the school's apparent-only security guard, Ronnie, played by LL Cool J, alone on campus.
We're paying the bills, aren't we? Ah, fuck me, shit! What? Not you, honey. Hold on for a sec. You scared the shit out of me. Sorry, Ronnie.
As everybody settles in, Michael strikes. He takes out the friends, Will tries to play hero and shoots a shadowy figure, only for it to turn out to be LL Cool J.
Oh, God. I thought...
Just say you thought he had a gun. Works for the cops.
Yo!
Michael then takes out Will, and probably the best kill in the movie, reminiscent of the nurse's death in Halloween 2. After getting John and his girlfriend off campus, Laurie goes in alone to face Michael. As I usually do, before I get into the finale, I'm going to give my quick thoughts on the actors and their performances in the film. Jamie Lee Curtis, for those who don't know, is my favorite actress, and for me, there is no bad script she can't make sound a little bit good. Even if the writing's bad, her performance can make you forget for a moment that it's not well put together. This version of Laurie Strode is now much older, more damaged, and a paranoid alcoholic. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of what they did with the character of Laurie Strode in these later films. It always felt a bit too over the top and strenuous, but Jamie Lee Curtis knows how to act the hell out of a breakdown scene, and she pretty much carries this whole film and gives it as much class as she can.
That's high praise.
Josh Hartnett is her son John. He's alright. You can understand the stress he's under living with such a paranoid mother, but he is a bit too whiny.
I need you to be responsible.
Mom, I am not responsible for you! All the shit that's going on in your head is leaking out on me, and I can't take it anymore.
After all the complaining and the crying and all the fucking bullshit.
After rewatching this film and seeing how over the top and paranoid they made Laurie Strode, as well as making her kid not take her warning seriously, and the scene where Michael Myers scares someone in a public restroom, makes me realize Halloween 2018 was just a big remake of H20, but admittedly executed a whole lot better. John's girlfriend, Molly, played by another newcomer who's become pretty big in recent years, Michelle Williams, is pretty unmemorable.
Well, I think that Victor had reached a point in his life where he had nothing left to lose. The monster saw to that by killing off everybody that he loved. It was about redemption. It was his fate.
She's not given a lot of personality or good writing, and it's just a girlfriend who I'm kind of surprised lived to the end.
I want you to drive down the street, get the police. No, we're not leaving. Go, as I say, now!
Run, bitch! Run!
LL Cool J as Ronnie the security guard is probably the best supporting actor in the film. He's funny and likable, and all the parts of him reading a romance novel that he's been working on to his wife over the phone are a little cringy. They work in just the right way, and LL Cool J makes it entertaining.
Tumultuous, round melon breasts.
Round melon? What?
People like to read descriptive adjectives. It sets the scene.
It's stupid is what it is.
It's sensual and romantic.
Being the only black dude on campus, you automatically assume he's gonna get killed at some point, but you'd be surprised.
I'm listening.
Adam Arkin is Will, Laurie's boyfriend. I've never been a big fan of Adam Arkin, and while he's had a few good roles here and there, I feel he wouldn't have gone far in this business if his father wasn't Alan Arkin.
Nepotism.
His character is pretty dull. He and Jamie Lee Curtis, in my opinion, just don't have good chemistry together. And the scene where she tells him who she really is in the middle of making out is really fucking awkward.
I'm not who you think I am.
Okay.
Chris Duran, who has the honor of being this film's Michael Myers, is sadly not really that memorable. He just doesn't stand out the way Nick Castle did in the original, or Dick Warlock and George P. Wilbur did in the sequels. I'm not trying to knock him down, it's just this film really wasn't well made in terms of suspense and horror. The best surprise character in the film is Norma Watson, Laurie Strode's assistant at the school, played by Jamie Lee Curtis's real-life mother, Janet Leigh. It's just so cool to see them work together, and her line about being maternal for a second to Laurie is pretty funny.
If I could be maternal for a moment, I don't like to see you like this.
And her scenes are filled with fun references to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I mean, her name is fucking Norma. And also, the car she's driving is the same car she drove in Psycho.
Nice.
And now, on to the finale. It's at this point that Jamie Lee Curtis says she thinks the film really came alive. Laurie goes into the school with an axe in hand, ready to fight Michael to the death, and we get some admittedly inventive fight sequences where Michael jumps down from the ceiling, he chases her over a bunch of tables, a scene that was meant for Halloween 4 but not used, and a cool bit where she knocks his ass down several flights and just stabs him repeatedly. Although overall, I can't really say I'm on the edge of my seat during this scene. The biggest surprise is when Laurie's about to deliver the killing blow, and...
He's dead.
Ronnie shows up, apparently having survived being shot by dumbass Will.
Yeah, I'm fine. The bullet just grazed me.
It's funny how he just shows up, and it almost feels like a last-minute rewrite. Even how Cool J has joked, "The brother lived." After the cops and paramedics show up to check everybody over, Laurie just snaps, steals a gun from the cops, forces the paramedics to put Michael in the ambulance, and then drives off. Weaving like a madwoman, she crashes the ambulance off-road, resulting in Michael, or so we think, getting pinned to a tree.
Michael?
They share a somewhat emotional moment where he reaches out for her. And then she just cuts his fucking head off. If you saw this in the theater in 1998, this is probably the biggest fucking shock of your life.
That motherfucker's dead!
If anyone was wondering how were they gonna work around this for the next movie, well, they found a way, and not to give it away before I review the next film, but it is just as retarded as you're imagining it is.
You have no idea.
And that's where it ends. So, final thoughts? Halloween H20 is far from the worst entry in the franchise. It is miles more watchable than Halloween 5 and Rob Zombie's Halloween. There are some good moments. The scene where John's ill-fated friend sticks his hand in a drain to get a corkscrew and Michael Myers is right behind him, making it unclear if he's gonna turn on the garbage disposal, is actually pretty intense. The scene where Michael waits outside the school for the right moment to enter is actually pretty chilling. And the moment where Laurie and Michael just stare at each other through the door window is honestly pretty fucking fantastic, and you can definitely see why this is the most iconic image from the film. The biggest problems I have are, it doesn't live up to the 20-year anniversary hype that they put around it. While Halloween 2018 definitely has some problems, it knew to go in full force for the 40th anniversary. This movie feels like no one was passionate about making it. Just about everybody who worked on it behind the scenes did it because the first guy wasn't available, and even Jamie Lee Curtis has come to think of this film as nothing more than a paycheck job.
Oh shit, if I wasn't getting a lot of money.
The film feels too short, too rushed, too simplistic, and overall doesn't leave an impact. Halloween 4 gets a lot of shit for being too simplistic, but that film had some pretty impressive gore effects, and Dwight H. Little and Alan B. McElroy put their all into that movie, and you can tell. And lastly, the music, arguably one of the key factors in the Halloween franchise, just doesn't put you on the nail-biting edge. Well, it's not terrible, it just feels like it belongs in a more non-horror themed thriller or an action movie. The score is credited to John Ottman, but music samples from Scream were apparently put in, something that Ottman was not happy about.
It's the damn money, man. You never know who's a windbag and who's got the goods.
Again, it's not even close to being the worst in the franchise, but as awful as Halloween 5, 6, Resurrection, and the Rob Zombie movies are, I can at least say that I remember what happened in those films. Halloween H20 is just a passable film that, if you come across it on TV, is a good way to maybe kill an hour and a half if you have nothing better to do.
Praise from Caesar.
Hope you enjoyed my reviews, and if you had any good horror titles that you watched over the season, Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you again soon.
Come on, people. Did anybody read the book?
That's retarded.